Power in the golf swing, part 4, wrist hinge. Hi, my name's Scott Connor and I'm here today at the Golf Performance Centre at Manchester Golf Club, and we're discussing how wrist hinge in the golf swing can affect power. Now, in my opinion, the wrist hinge is one of the top 2 areas for creating power in the golf shot. With regards to the wrist hinge though, there's many misconceptions. So many people, when they try to use the wrist more in the swing, trying to hinge the wrist more in this sort of fashion. So in my opinion, the wrist can hinge 2 ways mainly. So and when the club is used in this fashion where it opens and closes, the face is then only going to be getting a slight chance of opportunity where it can be square back to the golf club, and that can cause quite a lot of inconsistencies. And for many golfers, because it's opening and closing, if it doesn't get back in time, club face tends to be open, and for a right-handed golfer that will create more of a slice shot, more of a left to right ball flight, which will lose distance. In my opinion, it's much better if the wrist hinge more in a sort of upward manner during the backswing. What that does then is it keeps the club face, as you can see, quite neutral to my shoulders as I take the club back. So as I'm taking the club head back, I'm working the wrist in a more upward manner. And again, at this stage here, then the club face is much more neutral to my body, much more neutral to my shoulders. But that's going to create the power that I need, but also the consistency of bringing the face square back to the ball. The other area with regards to the wrist hinge is when you hinge the wrist. So in the past, many players used to hinge the wrist very early, but for me, hinging early creates a very tight and narrow swing. You also see some players that don't hinge the wrist until very late in the swing. For me, that creates a lot of instability at a really key area of the golf swing, which is at the top of the backswing. Whereas for me, it's much more important that we get a nice wide takeaway, but then by this sort of 3/4 stage here, where the arm's parallel to the floor, the wrists are fully hinged at this sort of 90-degree sort of L-shaped position. And for me, then you've got a nice wide takeaway, a full wrist hinge at this stage. And then when you do take the club to the top of the backswing, everything's under control, you've got control of the golf club. But then when you bring it back into the shot, you can then release that power and get more distance on your shots.